Welcome to After the Rain, a storytelling podcast from Playa Lakes Joint Venture. These are the voices stewarding the land and the stories that surface after the rain. When we talk about water in western Kansas, we often talk about decline. How much is left? How fast it's changing? What needs to happen next? But that conversation is starting to shift. We're wrapping up a series exploring how communities in Kansas Groundwater Management District Number 1 are working together to address water challenges and protect water for future generations. Throughout the series, you'll hear from local leaders, producers, and scientists who are turning conversations and real-world decisions into long-term solutions. In GMD1, after years of discussion, planning, and implementation, there's a new question on the table. What happens if we actually get this right? What does the future look like if Q stable becomes the norm? For State Representative Jim Minnix, the future is more than just water levels.
Success out in GMD1 is when we can get to Q stable, maintain our economy, welcome our youth back to the community, and look forward to a good future.
Because out here, water doesn't just impact agriculture. It impacts everything, from local businesses to schools to the people who choose to stay or leave.
There's lots of jobs out here that don't entail driving a tractor, and we need those people in our communities to keep everything running.
For decades, conversations around water are happening, but not always turning into action.
I'd heard little bits and pieces from some of the people in the community, even back in 1990. I see more and more people understanding what they were talking about then.
It wasn't until better tools, better data, and more local involvement came into play that things really started to move.
The state actually allowed a few tools in about 2013, the LEMAs and WCA areas. And our area looked at some of those and kicked it around, but it takes education and people to buy in on those types of things. I wish we'd started things 40 years ago, but they are light years ahead of some of the other areas, so I applaud them for that.
And now that progress is being carried forward by the next generation, not just continuing the work, but changing how it's done.
It's going to take the young people to keep up with everything and keep an open mind, be early adapters of those things that make good sense, that they're educated on, that make scientific sense, and move forward with those types of things.
And those changes don't just impact individual farms. They shape entire communities. In some areas of GMD1, those changes are already showing results.
Well, I see some areas like Wichita County that are already 3/4 of the county is at Q stable. They've maintained their economy. They've maintained their population. They have just as many retail businesses on Main Street.
That's what makes this moment different. This isn't just theory anymore. It's proof. But getting there hasn't been about one rule or one policy. It's about local decisions.
Every township is unique in what the Ogallala is underneath. So it's going to take local people to do the best job they can to come up with the recommendations on what needs to happen in a specific area.
And that's what may matter most moving forward, because there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Only shared responsibility. So, what does that responsibility look like? For Jim, it comes down to something simple.
Water is life. It's the life of our communities. It's what keeps us here. It keeps us thriving, and we need to pass this on to the next generations as it's been passed to us in the past.
And maybe that's the clearest way to understand this entire series. This isn't just about conservation. It's about continuation. Because the future of water in western Kansas won't be decided all at once. It will be shaped by the people who choose to take care of it. One decision at a time, one generation at a time.